はい。
はい。Hello.
はい。
Hello. I think like you are mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just do it this way.
Cool. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How's it going in Paris?
Fine. Yeah. We had a big thunderstorm yesterday.
Oh.
Or last night, so it's been raining all day. But
Really? Oh, so like you guys still in the quarantine?
we're not anymore. They lifted the quarantine.
When?
Like 2 weeks ago, sort of.
Really?
Yeah, but all the bars and restaurants, they were open until yesterday, or Monday.
Ooh. So where are you now?
Me, I'm at my office at Web Project.
Ooh, that's cool. So you guys like literally working at the office like all together?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's here, and everyone's kind of staying away from each other, like no kissing and like
Right.
hugging and stuff. So yeah.
But you don't need to wear the mask at all?
We do but today like there's no one in the office, so.
Oh, I see. Oh, so then like, how about like schools? Like they
The
start.
schools, I'm not sure how they're handling it. I know we have there's a lot of the elementary schools, like young kids that went back, but the like the colleges and everything, all of those are still shut at the moment. So I know with the little kids, I see them running around without masks because I think it's hard to make little kids wear masks.
I see. So that means like the PCA like still doing like.
PCA is not doing summer courses this time, so they canceled all the summer sessions. I think they're doing a couple online courses, and then we'll continue again in September.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's good. I saw like you guys still in quarantine moment.
No, yeah, like luckily it all.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it any like protesting stuff happening in Paris too?
Yeah, there was a big protest on yesterday. And then trying to think what else. It was in the 17th, so it's kind of further out. It's not like in the city center.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. And it was pretty peaceful until the end. But that's usually how protests are in France. People get crazy. They like to blow things up. So
I see. That's good. Like it seems like you are happier and then nice.
Yeah, it's good to be back in the world.
Right, sure. I can't wait. Right, sure. Okay, but like, thank you for coming and joining.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. So I think we're gonna kind of like start like introduce ourselves. I think I'm gonna go first. Then I'm gonna introduce my students as well. So nice to meet you all. So basically, my name is Shokonishi. I'm from Kochi in Japan. And I study fashion design. My BFA is from Tokyo Model Gakuen, 2015. And after that, I moved to New York and I went to art school, the art center, in order to create my portfolio. And after that, we met at the PCA. So I studied fashion design, haute couture and high technology MA course. And that was, I think, 2017. We graduated. Then, right? Then I moved back to New York. Then I graduated Parsons MFA Fashion Design Society. This, no, it's actually last September. No, last year. So then I'm doing teaching at the PI Art Center as instructor of DIY accessory design, portfolios, those stuff. Then I'm like freelancing and I'm doing my own level, such as those jewelries. And then actually I started producing lifestyle goods. So it's coming very soon after this COVID stuff. I'm going to produce some sort of like water bottles, you know, those like lifestyle stuff I'm like making as an artist. So I'm going to have my own studio, hopefully this summer as well. So that's what I'm doing individually. But now what I'm facing is like Shokonishi Design Lab, which actually I started this from 2015. As soon as I finished my college, like from Tokyo, Moto Gakuen. Then I started this like just myself, educated myself. Then I officially like launched this like stuff 2000 almost 17 or something. Then what I was doing is very much kind of teaching students based in Japan and then exchanging the knowledge. It's because the idea of fashion is totally different. You know what I mean? When I studied fashion in Japan, that meant dressmaking. So that education is totally different. Then I was kind of like sharing the knowledge, the experience. Then right now, at this point from 2019, focusing more international kind of based. So kind of like teaching kind of like how to apply international fashion contest, or like applying to other like school all over the world. So I was like mainly focusing this topic. Then I think like from this year, what I'm going to do is like making the connection as a like educational institution at the same time, kind of like developing the community as well. So as a Shokonishi Design Lab, I'm going to have another online lecture June 11th. So I'm going to have the guest from New York as like emergency designer, and then she's gonna like also present like her current work. Then I'm going to have like Japanese students from Japanese schools, and then I'm also going to have like buyers from select shop as well. So the process is that like designer is going to show their work as a like professional way to the buyer. And then those students also going to see the processes, how young designer is presenting their work, to the target, So those things I'm going to share, then I'm going to translate English to Japanese. So that then after the presentation, the young designer is going to have the pop-up store in Tokyo, no, in Nagoya in Japan. So that's, the kind of like, people can hear the processes, and then after that, they can also see the actual work, even though we are doing this online, So that's kind of like whole circle I'm going to like create. Then I'm going to have like a fashion school corporation as well. So I'm going to be the kind of like organizer, kind of like the way, and then creating the bridge between the other countries to Japan. And then at the same time, I'm going to create other way as well, opposite direction too. So that's like, I started. So this is like, I'm so pleasure to have you as first guest, for this international, today's presentation day, So today's like more like focusing on like you guys, my students, work. And then focusing on you, Alex, as individual, the expert, in this fashion industry. So I'm going to do the interview first, and then sharing the knowledge, and then move on to the students' work. That's the whole thing. Okay. So then let's introduce Natsuki over there.
Okay. Hi. My name is Natsuki. Hi. My name is Natsuki Sakai. I'm from Japan, and before I studied Spanish for years in Japan, but suddenly I changed my mind, and I decided to study fashion design, and I decided to go to New York, and I studied fashion design with Joe for 1 year, but I really want to study like making technique and sewing technique. So I decided to came back Japan, and now I'm in Japan. And nowadays I'm preparing for apply master fashion design, and also I'm preparing for contest in Japan, a fashion contest in Japan. Yes. Nice to meet you.
And then like we are like saying nice to meet you. You guys already met, you know, in
I was gonna say we met in New York. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I remember you were studying Spanish, and then you changed.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, we went like karaoke together as well.
Karaoke,
So good to like, you know, connecting you guys, linking together. So that's that. And then next call.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Ko. Nice to see you.
You too.
I went to art university in Japan, majored in fashion design and graduated from the university 2 years ago. To take an entrance exam for made class of art university in Australia, I'm taking fashion labo lesson by Konishi and creating portfolios. Nice to meet you.
You too. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Good. So the things, you know, this is like also, you know, they are like practices as well, you know, be, you know, international. So we don't really like use English at all if we are like in Japan. So like Natsuki is in Kyoto in Japan, and then Ko is in Tokyo now.
Okay.
And I'm in New York and you are in Paris. So it's like, you know, kind of like,
Very
you know,
international.
so that's that. So then I think like let's the Alex, you are kind of like introduce yourself.
Introduce myself?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Alyx Kleinsteiber. Nice to meet you all. Yeah, I initially started my background in design was in costume design. So I got a BFA from Arizona State University in costume for theater, opera, and dance. After that, I started doing working on some film in LA. I did a lot of work at local theaters in Arizona. And after a couple years of doing that, I realized that I kept doing fashion, but just as like on the side kind of thing. Like people would want me to make something specific for them, or, you know, altering, tailoring things. And then I also started to do a upcycling website where I bought clothing, I redid it, and then resold it online. And it was all recycled from Goodwills and things. And then, so I started looking into master's programs. I really like to travel and I wanted to go to another country. So I really loved France when I had visited it before. I applied to school at PCA, and then got my, where I met Sho, and we got our master's in haute couture and technology. And that was super interesting. The degree itself was very interesting to me because we were learning about technology and how we can put that into fashion, and how we can really think about the future of fashion, both sustainably and with technology. So that's still something I think is extremely interesting and important.
Right.
And then after graduating, I did a few internships here at various different places, and then eventually landed on Y Projects. Even though my focus was design, I was helping out with the showrooms, and I realized that I'm quite good at styling the clothing and also like marketing it and knowing how to sell it. Y Project as a brand is quite complicated sometimes in an interesting way, but it can also be really bad if you don't know how to wear the clothing correctly. It can be a mess. So I was really quick at picking up how to do it. And then I was asked to join the marketing or the communications and commercial team. So I assist with both of them, but I run a lot of the lookbook shoots that we do. I assist with all the logistics of the showrooms, of the fashion shows. I do all of like our communications things. So like our website, running the Instagram, assisting with those sorts of things. And then I also I'm in charge of brand management basically. So I work with all the clients, all the stores that carry our clothing, and I work with their visual merchandising teams to come up with like cool ideas for in-store installations. So some sort of art piece that we send, some sort of, if we blow up the campaign and have that, and like how we can make it interactive and interesting. Same thing with online activation. So I kind of take the essence of the collection and then try to figure out some sort of creative way to make it interesting to consumers, like people who buy it. So it's really interesting. It's very fun. It's still very, very design oriented, just in a different way. So.
So then, what is your title? Like,
I'm the brand manager for Y Project.
Oh, that was like my question, like for a while. Because I had like such a hard time, like kind of like explaining about you, and then like I'm like, she's doing that type of thing, she's doing that type of thing, but like I don't really know the title, So then in this class, like I'm going to translate in Japanese as well. So like like we have a conversation in English, and then like I'm going to also like explain Japanese too. 大体わかった？
大体わかりました。
さっきの流れで言うと、アレックスは、アリゾナ出身でコスチュームデザインから始めて、でコスチュームでシアターのフィルムのコスチュームデザインから始まって、でその後に LA でフィルムの仕事したり、アリゾナでフィルムの仕事したりとかして、その後にアップサイクリング、だからリサイクル系のオンラインストアみたいなのをこうやりよって、グッドウィルってさ、そのなんかドネーションでこう寄付されるがやけど服が。それを安く仕入れて、それをなんかブランディングして売っていく。だからそこでの経験がその今の Y プロジェクトのそのブランドマネージャーみたいなところにつながっちゅうと思うがね、俺はね、それ今から聞いていくけど。で、それがあった後に PCA のパリスカレッジャーと俺が行ったオートクチュールハイテクノロジーのところに行って、その後にコウが聞きたかった話もここで答えでちゅうがやけど、その後に何個かインターンシップして最終的にたどり着いたのが Y プロジェクトで、デザインインターンとかを経て、それの流れの一環としてショールームを手伝いよって、でショールームを手伝いいうところから、じゃあ自分の良さ強みってなんだろうってところでスタイリングが入ったりとかマーケティングコミュニケーションとかが入ってきて、で最終的に今のポジションに至って、そのウェブサイトなんかコミュニケーションカスタマーとしてにはこういうのがいいよねとか、なんかもう結構だからその作品を作るのは別のチームがあって、その作った作品をどういうふうにしてこうカスタマーとかオーディエンスに見せるかっていう、じゃあこういうビジュアル作りどうかとか、こういうショールームにしたらどうか、こういうお店に向かってアプローチするのどうかとか、そういう感じが、ブランドマネージャーっていう仕事で、ここまでそうで、Alex, like I actually got the question about your history. So you mentioned you did like upcycling online store before PTA. Do you think like is it like affecting what you're doing now at the Y project?
Yes and no. Well, for example, with what I think is really interesting and what makes the brand so exciting is that Glenn is really inspired by architecture. That's like what his main thing. He's really focused on the construction of pieces and the construction of patterns. So what he actually does is he actually buys vintage clothing or vintage patterns, and he adjusts them and like works off of those to create these sort of new shapes that you see coming down the runway. So he's very inspired by that, which is the reason why I was super inspired by Y Project, because it's very new, it's very fresh, it's very interesting, but there's like this sort of this sort of vintage feel to it at the same time with the fabric choices, and then also just with the construction. Like you look at these classic Levi denim jackets, but it's like popped out and like it has all this extra volume, and it's cool and interesting because I love denim, I love vintage denim jackets, but this is like the new fashion cool way of thinking about it. So yeah, I love that perspective. I would love to see, as a brand, like we're trying to move to being more sustainable, and we're thinking of new ways to do that. So we already work with a number of sustainable factories that either use recycled materials, but we're always like thinking about how we can push ourselves further and figure that out. So that's something I hope we figure out sooner than later.
So then, in order to doing sustainability, like the way, so like after this quarantine, is there any like huge change as a brand, like the way of working or like?
So after the quarantine, obviously, we weren't allowed to be in the offices. Luckily, most people were able to work from home and work remotely. We did have a couple people at a time coming into the studio, but they were like only 2 at a time, and the studio is quite big, so they were on separate sides at all times, and they were wearing masks and stuff. So, because obviously you still need to do some pattern making and things. So yeah, so they did that. I was able to work from home because most of my work is computer based, which was good. As a brand, obviously all the fashion weeks have been canceled, so there's no physical showroom. There's going to be no physical show, so we had to brainstorm an effective idea on how to virtually make the clothes appealing to buyers, because obviously the buyers aren't traveling, so they can't come and touch and feel the clothes. So the plan at the moment is we have our campaign coming up. We had just done a collaboration with Canada Goose, so that's coming out soon. We are doing so as soon as all the pieces get here, we're doing a separate lookbook shoot that will be of all of the clothing, like from a 360-degree angle, so you can see in videos, so you can see it from all sides. Then we are doing sort of like not a campaign, but like a lifestyle sort of shoot. So like more campaign-esque, where like the girls, the models will be in a cool place and like, interesting shots, not just of the pieces. So it kind of like gives the vibe of the collection. And then from there, what we do is we, on our webpage, webproject.fr, if you go to the new upcoming season, there'll be like a link on the front page. We're going to have an exclusive page with a login that's only for buyers, so only for our clients, where they get taken to a page that will have the kind of campaign-y images, the lookbook images, and like the full look, the full show look that's styled. So from there, they can click on the image that they like, oh, I like that dress, or I like that jacket, and it will take them to Jour, which is another whole program we use that allows for the buyers to literally just like put it in their basket kind of thing. Like, what I mean? They can go on like essentially online shop, and there they're going to find all the details, exactly like a description of the piece. There they can see the 360 of each piece individually, and then they can literally make a selection based off of that.
I see. So you guys like still on the like kind of participating the Fashion Week calendar official?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of other brands too. Like we've obviously been communicating with all sorts of brands that are here, and everyone's doing the same thing. There are a couple that are doing physical showrooms, which I find kind of worrying.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think many people are going to go. So instead of putting our money, our budget into a physical showroom where no one's showing up, we're like putting in extra money into this virtual. We're calling it like Y Project World.
Is it actually taking the cost more than physical showroom, or like less? It's kind of like the same budget.
It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same, because obviously, like we have a lot of friends and people who are close to the company, because we are still a very small company. It seems. I think we
How many people?
Altogether, maybe 20.
20.
25, maybe, including interns. So we're really small. We're all in the same office. It's very much like a family feeling, if you know what I mean. There's no like, obviously like people have their separate departments and certain things should be delegated to certain things, but at the end of the day, we're all there to like unload the truck after the showroom. We're all there to, to support each other when each other needs help. It's like that's the feeling here. It's not like if you're in communications, you never see the design team. It's like, no, I'm literally like, Glenn just asked to borrow one of my shirts for a prototype that he wants to do. Like that's my personal shirt that I like. Like, you know what I mean? So like that's the kind of feeling we're all like, we all have input. We're all creative together, which is great.
Cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna translate to Japanese. なんとなくこれ結構難しくなってきて分からんなるかもしれんけど、俺がとりあえず聞いたのが、そのアップサイクルのリサイクルしてよってオンラインショップのやつが今のそのブランディング Y プロジェクトやることに共通するかって言ったら、そうでもあるしそうでもないところもあるっていうけど、まあ Y プロジェクトのそのデザイナーのやり方がヴィンテージのものを買い付けて、それを解体してパターンを取ってってデベロップするっていうやり方をよくするき、そういうところではヴィンテージっていうところの自分のやりよったことにももうちょっと関係するような感じはあるかなっていう話をしよって、そのなんか自分がデニムが好きとかさ、そういう生地の選び方とかが自分の元々のスタイルと Y プロジェクトのスタイルがこうあっちゅうと。で、それのプロセスでアップサイクリングで言うけど、そのブランドとして今サステナビリティをちょっと重きを持っちゃって、今ちょうどそういう工場と一緒に何かをやろうっていうプロジェクトを動かし中。で、今それこそ新しいコレクションがどうなっていくかっていうのはもうバーチャルの世界でショールームをする。作品はできちゃって、それを360度すっごいディテールがカスタマーがインターネットでも分かるような仕組みができると。で、みんな大体メゾン同士でやり取りしようってどんな風に作品をみんなが発表するかね。で、それにおいて大体どこのでっかいメゾンも同じやり方を取り入れて。で、まあ一つぐらいのブランドはフィジカルでその物理的にショールームするけど、大体はみんな同じような動きでなんかこう足並み揃えてバーチャルショールームをしようって感じかな。で、20人が働きよって、まあすごい近い関係性っていう感じ。で、Alex, like, so once you kind of like, develop the system, right? Like doing virtual showroom, do you think you guys gonna continue or it's just specific things?
It's kind of hard to tell. There's a very good chance that September showrooms are going to be canceled as well. So we just kind of need to see how that goes. I do think there will still be a physical showroom because at the end of the day, it is no matter, I mean, I still don't think technology is at least accessible enough for us to really like show the clothes. You know what I mean? Because fashion to me is very much a physical connection to a physical thing in front of you. And that's one thing that I don't think e-commerce is. I mean, I can think of the amount of times I buy something off of Matches or, whatever online shop. And I'm like, wow, they marketed that so well, looks so good. And then I get it and I hate it and I return it. You know what I mean? Like, so, whereas obviously if I'm touching something physically and seeing it, I'm like, oh yeah, I love it. And I know I love it because it's in my hands. You know what I mean? So, I do still think there will be physical showrooms for that reason. Perhaps maybe less buyers will be traveling. So maybe it won't be as big of a showroom. You know what I mean? Maybe not as much money will be spent on the luxurious perspective of it. I don't know. I could see those sort of things changing.
Right.
I also think that going forward, like maybe more brands will, instead of doing 4 shows and 4 showrooms a year, maybe they'll do like 1 or 2 big shows and maybe 2 showrooms and then maybe do the other one virtual, or they'll condense like their women's and men's into unisex. I could see like the amount of shows going down. That's what I think. Yes.
Right.
I still think there will be physical showrooms.
Right. That makes sense. So like what project was doing 4 showrooms?
Yes.
How many designers are technically designing for the clothes?
So we have Glenn, who's the artistic director. And then in addition to him, we have about 4 people who take different categories. So we have one person who's in charge of development. They're specifically like looking for, so Glenn will either start out with a picture, sometimes he'll do sketches. There's usually no color. It's usually just like pencil sketches, very simple. Like I said, it's all very construction based. So you can really see like he like spends a lot of time on like the gatherings and the textures and like the whatever's happening there. From that he'll have a meeting with development. That's about 3 people, but there's only like 1 person who's in charge, and they kind of work off of that. They split up the prints, so any prints that happen, they've worked that out and do all of the technical drawings that get sent to the factories. And then you have a girl who's in charge of all of the outerwear and tailoring, so all the blazers, all the jackets, things like that. Then you have someone who's in charge of all the jersey. And that could be like all the t-shirts, but then we also do a lot of like kind of mesh clothing that's very sexy, like dresses and stuff. yeah, so it's quite a big range. It's a lot to do for one person. And then you have someone who is more in charge of like the elegant things, you know, the gowns,
Dress.
more couture kind of interesting stuff.
Okay.
And then from there you have each of them have an assistant, and then you have maybe 3 to 4 interns depending on the depending on the time of year. Yeah.
So then, do you know their story, how they got the position, how they?
It really varies. Some of, like I said, like the fashion world is quite small, and lots of people know each other. Glenn is very involved, not so much like in the publicity part of being in fashion, but like he knows a lot of really artistic and cool people from where he went to school in Antwerp, studying there, and from the same place Margella went. So like from that, he has lots of connections to like not only fashion designers, but like stylists and graphic designers and also fine artists. And so he really likes to keep the people he works with like his friends or people that he is inspired by. So really he really has to have like a connection, I think, for you to get the position. That's the first thing. Jobs also unfortunately don't open up that much because we are such a team that's connected. But we have like, for example, Zana was actually my communications intern. She did really good. She was one of my visual merchandisers during the showroom, and she was super on it and amazing. And after working with our team for about 3 months, she asked, because her background is actually in pattern drafting, she asked if she could join the design team for her last 3 months of her internship, and she did. And then next week she's hired on now, so she's going to be assisting with the tailoring and outerwear.
Ooh, okay.
I think that would be my main thing is like, just because it's not a design internship doesn't mean you can't you can't do another job and then get into design. It's really like being in fashion is about like connecting with people, and if people like you,
so true.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's obviously like, okay. So that's actually I had like question from like Core asking like how people get job, because like the system is like totally different in Japan. How we get job is like we do same things, as a candidate. You know what I mean? This is a competition start. Same day, same interviews, same questions. We kind of try to show that like identities, in that like, square, you know what I mean? Like the outline,
Right.
So like, this is me, you know what I mean? Like, but we still need to have a rule, wear similar clothes, do similar hairstyle. And and then each portfolios has like very specific, rules, you should do this design, this much, this amount, and then we compete each other. So there's no like really communication, to actually company, you know what I mean?
Because, it's very different.
Yeah, so then that's gonna be kind of like weird, like if people hiring people is because people know them. In Japan, it sounds weird.
Wow.
So, like in order to get job, we need to kind of like compete, just showing our skill or like some sort of like, like humanity or something, you know what I mean? But, we don't really, I'm hiring this is because, this is my best friend. We're going to work together.
Yeah. I mean,
like,
true. Yeah. I totally get that. I wouldn't say though that you just hire people because we like them either.
Yeah, but the
yeah.
point is like, still, you guys have access, then talk, kind of like, communicate. But like in Japan, if we kind of casually like hanging out, then it's not, effective, to get like job-ish, in general. But the point is like, if it's like small like brands also like doing similar things, people like connecting each other, kind of that way. I think that's like the totally like huge misunderstanding happening in Japan about fashion industry. People still think, the company is doing that, very kind of like
the same like okay, the same
but,
process.
but in the fact, even though they are like huge maison, they still do, kind of like communication based, people like kind of like introducing each other, recommending those people. So like fashion industry, like, it's like networking, it's like quite dense, in the sense.
Absolutely.
So because like I was like still feeling, like, if you are finding some designer only designing crazy stuff, and then I'm still believing you might gonna recommend me to the position in Paris as well. You know what I mean? So that's happening.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
if like like in New York, if like other brand is finding like my friends, like trying to get good communicator, like knowing like design, knowing the fashion industry, I might gonna introduce you to the like new position as well. So that's something happening, but in Japan it's like kind of very difficult to understand, why communicating, networking is important. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the most, if you're gonna do fashion design out of Japan, it is like the #1 thing, like
Right.
super important.
Yeah.
Show knows because he always has his cards.
Yeah, that's okay. So, okay, I'm gonna translate. So, 何を喋りたかっていうと、とりあえず、まあ、どのようにして、まあ、デザインチームが成り立っていくかなんだけど、20人働きって言って、デザイナーが、creative director is like one, right, Alex? So, like one creative director, right? And then under the umbrella, they have like 4 designers, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then each designer has like at least 1 assistant.
Yeah, or like there'd be 1 assistant that does like a little bit of both or 2 of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Then assistant has interns, right?
Yes, and again, interns kind of like if there's 4 designers and there's like 2 assistants and then there's like maybe 3 interns and then they kind of evolve.
Yeah. So, but like when you guys like kind of having interns, there's a specific name: design intern, communication intern, or the intern in general.
It depends. Yeah, typically you are either like a communications intern or a like production intern or a studio intern, but then you can like I said with Zane, like she's an example of somebody who started as a communications intern and then she turned into a studio intern. So here, it's not like sometimes I need extra help, and the interns aren't doing as much in the studio or they're not doing as much in production, and so then we use them to help us with other stuff. It's very like connected.
Right. そうだから、まあ、ダイレクターがおって4人デザイナーがおって、その下に2人アシスタントがおって、そのアシスタントの下にインターンシップの子がおって、インターン入るときにデザインインターンに入ったり、コミュニケーションインターン入ったりとか、プロダクションインターンってちょっとカテゴリーが分かれて入るけど、まあ、結局はちっちゃいチームやきいろんなところにこうヘルプして、だんだんこう混ざっていく。で、1人のまあケースで言ったら、そのザネっていう子はコミュニケーションインターンで入って、で、その最後3ヶ月何しますかってなった時にそのデザインチームに行きたいって自分から言って、でそこでまあうまいこと活躍がして、このからそのテーラリングのチームに雇われることが決定した。で、その最後に俺らがその言いよったのは、インターンとして入るじゃん。入った時に、まずそれで仕事につながることって本当にあるが。本当に。I think we could say like, the way of like starting job, getting job is from internship, no? Like it's the only way to kind of like start.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't have experience, then no one gonna like really give you a job.
I don't think I've ever heard of anyone
like suddenly becoming a designer,
coming out and doing it unless they have like a ton of money from their parents and they start their own brand or something. But that's different.
Okay. そうで、これ結構一般的なんだけど、インターンシップから始める、絶対。で、それが別に学生中でもいいし、学校終わってからでもいいわけ。学校終わってからやったら、もうフルタイムでできるじゃん。もうずっと。で、もう学校行きながらでやることもできるよ。ただ学校行きながらやりゆう人がいろんなチャンスもらうかって、まあ、時間が違うきそうじゃん。なんかもらいづらいじゃん。だから人は学校おるときにもやりながら経験を積みながら、学校終わった後にフルタイムのインターンとしてもう一回やる。で、もう一回やりゆうときにはもう本当に目がけが仕事を取るぞって。でもそこには何の保証もないわけ。だから、ありとあらゆる方法で入ってここだと思いながら コミュニケーションが大切っていうのは、もうインターンやきって別に、じゃあもうここ辞めるつもりで入らんわけよ。みんな仕事をゲットするに来るタイミング、経験のタイミングで、まあいろいろあるんだけど、そういうところで、あ、ちょうどポジション空いたき、じゃあこの子いいじゃんっていう感じで、ネットワーキングが入る。で、そのコミュニケーションを常に必要っていうのは、ポジションが空いたら人が必要じゃん。で、そこに誰かを入れたくなるっていう、そういうこう人事の移動があった時に、結構会社の中だけで始まることもあるけど、外から連れてくることも多いがね。例えばアシスタントが消えたら、インターンの子がアシスタントになることはあるがね。でもこのデザイナーの人がどっかに行ったら、その人に見合った人が欲しい、外から取ってくる時とかあるがね。だから俺とアレックスが言ったのが、例えばアレックスの Y プロジェクトでクレイジーなドレスだけ作るデザイナーが欲しいってなった時に、おそらくアレックスが俺のことを引っ張って Y プロジェクトに連れていく日も別になきにしもあらずな。で、例えばニューヨークでそういうコミュニケーションに特化した人が欲しいっていう、まあ、ブランドがニューヨークであったとしたら、俺が全然アレックスのことをレコメンデーションすることもありなわ。で、それと一緒で、今2人は俺らの下でこうやってみんなとああ言うやん。で、あ、そういえばなんかこういう作品作る人おったなって、レコメンデーションで仕事って結構転がっていくわ。だから作品を見せ続ける、人に会い続ける、やりたいことを口にし続けるっていうのがすごい大切っていう話をしよった。それがだから仕事の取り方。で、それが結構普通なことね。I think like we're gonna do the question from students. So I think we can start from Natsuki.
Yes. So before you told your position is brand management, right? Brand manage. So you do the like when you do the brand managing, what is the important things like? How can I say like policy?
Yeah, like what's what do you care the most? Like when you do work. So what is your motto? The policy. What like what's the main things you kind of
the main like the most important part of it, like
yeah.
I think overall it's our image. Like that's really the main thing. It's like how everyone perceives the brand. Like, is it cool? Is it interesting? Is it being is it being transparent? Are we being especially right now with everything going on in the world, are we addressing these things? Are we not addressing these things? These are the big questions. Obviously, I'm not the only one that makes this decision, but as brand manager, that's, I need to make sure like those things are going correctly. You know what I mean? Like, and we're handling it in a way that's supportive and, you know what I mean? Like to make sure like our reputation is good and not like, we don't want to be like Chanel that's like shying away from saying anything about anything. And, that we want to be a brand for the future. Like we want to be a brand that's, that's edgy but cool. And we also like the whole point of Y projects, like, and Glenn, this is like Glenn said himself, is that we are always Y project isn't a brand where you buy everything Y project and you walk out wearing Y project. It's not like Off-White or like Vêtements where you're like obviously wearing it. The pieces are supposed to be something that you have like a personal attachment to, like you like this coat, and that coat can be matched with all of your vintage pieces or whatever other brands. The whole point is like you're not supposed to be head to toe Y project. So we want to make sure that the buyers have a connection with the piece that they're wearing. So they're not just buying it for the brand, for the name, so that's really important. And overall, my whole point is to make sure that comes across and that we like maintain that, like, we're not a brand, like logo brand, Yeah.
That's actually so interesting to hear, because like that's, like it's the point, like when we kind of like start like designing like, collection, then we wish the audience, the customer is like wearing my style head to toe, you know what I mean? But the point, you guys like kind of like, I love that like what you said, like each piece is like, have like personal connection, to the like, customer. I think that's, that's like totally makes sense. That's like, the Y project is like, like kind of like easy to coordinate with, other brands. you know,
Yeah.
but still each piece is like speaking out, you know what I mean? This is my project DNA, but you know, it's like handy, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can like, you know, have only like jacket and then other brands. I think
Right.
that's nice. That's, I think, Japanese love that way too. You know, people like love to mixing up those stuff.
Definitely.
You know.
I mean, Japanese fashion is just amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
the
white product
styling is
with
incredible.
Uniqlo, you know what I mean? Like those kind of like
Yeah.
combination and stuff. Okay, got it.
Pajamas, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just the best.
Yeah.
Also, just something else. Like, so another part of my job is that I do trainings. So I actually go to stores in New York. That's when I saw Show last time. I go to stores.
Again.
Yeah, in Europe, Paris, like in Japan as well. And like we're at Dover Shoe Market, and they are, I love everyone there. They're like the coolest people ever. It's like we did this amazing installation. I can send it to Show later. But it was really great. So when I go there, like we also are, because we're a small brand, like our communications and commercial team, like we also represent the brand, like. And we always make sure that when we go to visit these cities, we like do an event or we do something like that. And then we also do trainings. And so when we do trainings is when we physically meet the people who are selling the clothes. So like the regular shop person who's in charge of like this area of the store, we meet with that person and we make sure like they understand each piece and why it's why, like where it came from, why we did it, if they have any questions. Any feedback for us, like on fit or like what the clients are liking or not liking. Like we like go that in detail. So like that overall, it's like the image of the brand. That is like what my job is.
It's, oh my God, it's so good to know, because like I was working at the like select shop called Tomorrowland for a while. Then, okay, you are being star in Japan then. You know, like you are the star, like for those like, you know, like shop staffs. You know, it's because like I remember like one like things like the staff were like very excited because like they are going to meet the people from outside of country. That, you know, the brand people is coming and they are going to learn, you know, the DNA of that brand. And after the lesson, people like, oh my God, this brand is so cool, you know what I mean? So
yeah, because we want like the people who are selling the clothes to like the clothes and like be excited to sell them. Otherwise, if they're like, oh yeah, that's like the weird Y project stuff, like we don't even know, it doesn't, you know, it's weird, like we want them to be excited, like, oh wow, they came and they taught us about this, and like this way they feel connected to the clothes so that then they can sell it better. Like
that makes sense, and that's very suits you, like too.
Yeah, I'm good at talking.
Okay, let's translate. So でこの話で言いよったのが、まあなっちゃんがそのなんかモットーは何ですか仕事をする上でっていうことで、まずまあ彼女が答えたのは、まあブランドとしてのなんかモットーよね。なんかそのポリシーみたいなところはいつも未来的であってエッジーでクールでっていうところがまあ一番意識するところだから。ホーミーとかさ、なんかカジュアルとかガーリーとかそういう話じゃなくて、常に何を意識して仕事するかってエッジーでクールであること、そういうふうにして、まあコミュニケーションとかビジュアル作ったりとかするときにそういうブランドの DNA を忘れない。で、例えばその Y プロジェクトはそのなんか全身 Y プロジェクトっていうブランディングじゃなくて、どっちかというと一個一個のピースが Y プロジェクトであるっていうことをちゃんと表現することっていうかすごい重視しちゃって、いろんなブランドともちゃんと組み合わすことができる。で、その一つ一つのジャケットとかパンツ一つ一つがそのなんか自分たちのパーソナリティにこう訴えかけるパーソナルなんかその自分と深く結びつくそのジャケット一つと自分がすごくなんかこう特別になる。全身を着てオフホワイトとか全身着てベトモンとかそういうやり方じゃなくて一個一個にこうちゃんとこうコネクションを作る。だからロゴだけ貼って終わりとかそういう話じゃなくてスペシャルにしていくっていうのを意識中で、その彼女の仕事としてコミュニケーティングションの中で大切なのはそのトレーニングっていうのがそうやって置いてもらっちゃうセレクトショップとかに行ってそのなんかじゃあポップアップしますって言ってインスタレーションを組んだりとか、それでその訪れたタイミングでそのストアで売ってくれる人に対してもう一回ブランドのプレゼンテーションをするわけ。こういうコンセプトで今回こういうシーズンでこういう風にやってますって言ってそのスタッフたち売ってくれてるスタッフたちに自分たちのブランドを好きになってもらう。でそれをちゃんと買ってくれる人に伝わるように自分たちが熱意を伝える。 だからそのブランディングでエッジでクールでかっこいいってところを理解して、それをちゃんと吐き出す作業をしいうのがアレックス。って感じ。Thank you. I think like we're gonna move on the cause question now.
Yeah.
こう質問して。
言われたやついいんですか？
何やったっけそれ？
さっきの
仕事のやり方。
どうやって大きなメゾンに入ったかっていう。
じゃあそれ答えたき、じゃあ別の質問じゃあ投げかけるわ。I think actually like you kind of like naturally answered like what called prepared, then I think I'm going to the question, so you are like doing like training, those stuff, then so like you literally like expressing your like brand identity to the audience as well, right? So like how do you like explain about the white project when you do the training?
So typically, what I prepare in advance is I look at whatever they've ordered, and then I usually create like either I don't do a printed version anymore. We used to do printed versions, but a digital product book. So basically it has, and we send these ahead of time, and then we can also at the training, if they have a projector, we can go through it together. But basically it will show like how to it'll have flat shots of each piece, so it will show like how to hang it on the hanger, because sometimes it's quite complicated. So for example, like we have things that are like one side's this way and then like the other arm is upside down, so like when it hangs on the hanger it's like crazy.
Yeah.
So they need to know to like do certain things, whatever. So there's a description of how to do it, a photo of how it should look, and then we also do a description of how it should be styled, because that's also very complicated, and then we show pictures of how it should be styled. So for example, there's a lot of times where like the things need to be kind of ruched up on the shoulder so it looks more interesting, but people will wear it like this, and it's like no, it's not supposed to be like that. So first of all, I show up with that, and then when I'm introducing the brand, I basically say what I kind of said to you already. I talk about how as a brand, like Glenn himself is very construction based. I talk about how they work on the patterns, how they use inspiration from vintage patterns and vintage pieces, and then go from there. Really, and I talk about how Glenn isn't really concept based. He's not like, oh, I'm thinking of butterflies and it's all about butterflies. He never does that. It's all based on the silhouette and the construction.
Right. I see.
Occasionally he'll do some, he's very what's the word, like tongue-in-cheek. The brand is like, I don't know how you say that, like how to translate that, but like very kind of cheeky, like funny but like kind of off funny sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like and so for example, he'll pull inspiration from like one time we did a t-shirt and it had a bunch of random flags around on it, like 4 different flags, and everyone was like, oh, like what was inspiration for the flags? And to Glenn, he was like, oh, I just like looked around the room and there were like 4 people from 4 different countries, and I was like, cool, we'll use their flags. Like he didn't, he didn't even really care what they looked like, it's sort of like whatever comes to his mind in the moment, like we'll just make an appearance sometimes. It's also really funny, like with our campaigns, most of the campaigns are actually just friends of Glenn or people at the company. So like
wait, and then like I have a question, like you said like you did like a lookbook shoot with the artist called like Frederick Heyman.
Yeah.
Like how did it happen?
So he's actually really good friends with Glenn. Very good friends, and so he's actually the one who did who designed the installation that we ended up doing at DSM Ginza. So I'm very close to his partner as well, Dennis. He was the one that was in charge of doing all the physical part of it, like the layout. He's a set designer, so he took his partner Frederick's idea, the very industrial, like human, like sexy robot thing, and like designed a set that like worked with it and was like this whole thing. I'll send it to you, but we it was really just Frederick came to Glenn and was like, hey, like, do you want to collaborate on this, and then he just did it. So Frederick's process, I mean, I don't know it all very well because this was actually done right before I officially came on as brand manager. But they, as far as I know, they do like these scans, these like 360 scans of the model in the clothing, and then he adjusts it and like, you know, plays with it and does everything based off of that. So that's it.
I see. That's cool.
But yeah, super cool. But yeah, just to say, so basically I say the same thing. It's construction based, and then I talk about the fact that we don't want them to sell like a look necessarily. We want them to like the pieces individually and know how to sell them individually, and then sell, you know, make sure that the clients understand that that's our perspective. They don't want, you can mix Marine Serre and white project. That's okay.
So, 今聞いたのは、じゃあトレーニングするときにどういうことをブランドの代表として言うんですかみたいな、訪れてね、そのスタッフたちにって言ったら、まずハンガーの書き方どういうふうに着るかって、そういうなんか難しいコンストラクション、仕置き、それを伝えるっていうのはまず仕事やし、そのなんかブランドを説明するときに、さっきも説明したけど、このブランドっていうのはそのコンストラクションがすごいベースで、そのなんか建築物とかそういうふうな解体してからもらうインスピレーションが多くて、だからそういうシルエットベースところにすごい力を入れちゃうと。で、それでこそさ、こう一緒に授業したけど、フレデリックおるじゃん、はい、それのプロジェクト、Y プロジェクト、ルックブックとって、ルックじゃない、キャンペーンして作ったね。でそれはドーバーストリートマーケットの銀座でインスタレーションを行われて、俺がなんでそうなったかって気になって聞いたけど、もともと友達で、その Y プロのクリエイティブダイレクターとフレデリックが友達で、いや、一緒にやろうぜなんかって言ってやった。
そうなんですね。
そう。なんか結構多いがって、なんかこう友達でコラボレーションみたいなの多いき、なんかそれはまあ仕事でもそうやし、まあこれも仕事じゃん、一緒になってなんかやるって、そういうのって結構、この人はなんかしたいって言ったけどどうみたいな、そんな感じで、まあカジュアルになったと。Alex, I think like as like last question, like we are going to the presentation. Do you think like is there any potentials, you know, they could do the internship in the future if they want?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Ultimately, with the design team, I'm not in charge of that. So really the only people I hire as interns are communications people. But definitely, like if you send me your portfolio, I could send it to Linda, who's actually, she's like the studio manager. So she just makes sure like everyone's doing their job and everyone's communicating with each other kind of thing. So she's usually the one that will vet the CVs and portfolios, and then they go from there. So yeah, definitely.
That's good to hear, because that, you know, way like why fashion students studying is like, you know, for the future, and then next step gonna be the internship, you know. So that's good to know. I think, you know, I'm will have, you know, the moment, you know, like kind of like helping out, you know, my students to get, you know, the opportunity, and then let's go. Thank you. So インターンシップが将来的に可能ですかっていう話をしたら、もちろんポートフォリオ送って CV 送ってくれたらっていうことなんで、もし Y プロジェクトでインターンシップを本気でしたいですっていう人がいたら大丈夫ですっていう確認を取ってあげる。まあそれも含めて今からやるプレゼンテーションが何が大切って、そうやってじゃあ紹介するよって言ってくれる人に実際にプレゼンテーションできるわけね。ポートフォリオ見てもらえるわけやき、こういうタイミングすごい大切にしよう。今これでアレックスがもし、うわこの子の作品マジすごいってなったら、それ絶対忘れんき。だから作品をこうやってカジュアルに見せるっていうのは自分のトレーニングでもあるけど、常に人に見られるっていうことはあれしとっちゃう。だから俺ならね、もし俺が今生徒なら Y プロでなんかゲットしてやるって気持ちでやるき。確実に。俺ならね、俺はもう作品見せるときなんか捕まえてやろうって思ってやる気絶対。それで忘れてたよ。本当に何が起こるかなんか、日本やったらなかなかね、人伝えで、この人と会ってこの人と会ってってならんと繋がらんこと多いけど、こっちなんかもうバンってその今喋る人が本当に自分のこと見てくれるき。わかる？俺通して見るけど、俺関係なしで1対1にもなりやる気ね。それ忘れてたよ。わざわざ Y プロでインターンしたいって俺通す必要性全くないよね。今ゲットしていいわけやきっていうのは常に忘れて、これからやっていくのっていう感じでプレゼンテーション行くんで、なっちゃんから言っていいです？
私ですか？はい。
So Alex, I think we're gonna start the review of the how